Hi, this is Scott Sackett. I wanted to do a quick video to talk about Threshold Dice. Threshold Dice is a dice maker that sells dice primarily through Facebook. If you're Facebook friends with them, they will periodically announce they're going to make dice. Now, what they do is they make reproduction of what is known as the Holmes dice set. If you've played Dungeons and Dragons for a long time, you may be familiar with the Holmes set. Originally, they came out. They've been around for a while, but most people know them from the Holmes Basics set. I had a set of these when I was a kid. They've since been lost. But before I start talking about those, I want to talk about some other dice I have. First off, a couple things I have here. This is the oldest set of dice that I have in my possession. This is dice from 1982. And there may be one more. I don't have a ton of dice like some people, but these dice, maybe not this dice, but certainly these dice came from from the Villains of Vigilantes box set, which I think came out in 1982, and it had dice in it. I think this was the 10-sided dice. If not, it may have been this one. I'm not for sure. They're obviously different because one has the blunted end. But I got these dice. Now, the interesting thing is the 20-sided dice has a plus. The 1 through 20 didn't happen for a while. So the early dice, at one point they went to the plus, and then they figured out how to make the numbers that small. Originally, the dice did not have that. They just were, the 20 dice was 0 through 9 twice, and you had to roll a second dice or paint your dice another color. Now, these are dice I had from back then. Now, recently I picked up these dice. Let me sort this out real quick. So this is game science dice, and I like game science dice a lot because they have sharp edges. If you can see it there, they don't tumble them like a lot of people do. Typically, dice. Let me find an example. Okay, so here's a good example. See how the edges are rounded because they tumble them. So the dice, and to me they have a real old school feel because that's how the original dice were. They were not tumbled. And so Game Science made a reproduction. They called it like a reproduction set, and it was in the similar colors. So this is the set. Now they included, the old dice didn't have a D10, so they included this as like a percentile dice. Now some games had a pink D20, so I bought a pink D20 when I bought this. And again, it was the original 0 to, but you use them for percentiles. It was 0 through 9 twice. So, but when they made this set, they came out with this. I wish they'd gone with the pink, but I've always liked the idea that the dice were different colors. So meanwhile, Threshold Dice Works made these. And like I said, my original set have long vanished. I got these in the mail today. Now these were made, they're cast by hand and polished. Now you can see they're shiny. I think they've been lacquered, potentially. I will use them to play. Now one thing, and these look, to my memory, they look very authentic. Now the yellow appears to be slightly translucent, which the yellow was not translucent. And I think the color, I don't know. I don't know about the yellow, and I know it wasn't translucent, but I think the color's dead on. The red doesn't quite look right to my memory, but I haven't compared it to pictures online. But I never used the 6 because I always used like these 6. Like so to me the 6 wasn't that big a deal. It may have been that color, and the white D20 looks dead on, and it is 0 through 9. It doesn't have an 11 through 20 on it, or a 10 through 20, I guess. So what I will do is I will take some paint. Now I didn't think they were going to come inked, but apparently they're inked. So what I'll do is I'll take some red acrylic paint and paint in half the numbers so that I have my through 20. I think now one thing that's always seemed off to me about the Game Science set And the guy that put these together has copied. He used photos, and he's copied what they call dice maps, which is like the 20 should be across from the 1, but on the original, the 0 is across from the other 0. All the numbers are crossed from their opposite. And so when I ink it, I'll have to be careful, or when I color it in red, I'll have to be careful that I alternate them so I don't get a weird pattern. Not that it matters, it should be random. So this green looks good to me. I think as near as I can remember, that's dead on green, and the rest of them maybe too. Like I said, I compared them. The Game Science ones always looked a little greeny, a little grassy to me. But again, Game Science wasn't necessarily trying to reproduce them. They were just trying to get a set that looks close. So here's, let's see, so the 12. Now the 12 is interesting because when I started playing D&D again, I had my old dice, but I ordered a set of Game Science dice. They used to make a set called Ugly Dice. It was just random dice, and I've got them. And I like that because it was just kind of an odd set. And I still like the Game Science dice, but the D12, look how small it is in comparison to the original one, or the knockoff of the original. And that's all. This is always, when I got mine, I go, man, that's a small D12. So this set, to me, that seems right. So what I'll do, and I don't have I don't have 10s because 10s didn't come around until later, but I've got this. This can be my 10s. I'll just roll it and say, it's 43, for example. And I'm going to go in, I've got some acrylic paint. I'm going to go in and paint in I'll paint the numbers. And I think if I paint the numbers, you'll be able to show it. You'll be able to see it. But anyway, I wanted to leave a review. I really like these. I forget exactly how much it cost. I think with shipping, it was like 40 bucks, 45 bucks, something like that. So it's not cheap. But if you've priced Original Holmes dice online, you'll see it's a deal. And if I wanted them because to me, playing Dungeons and Dragons is such a nostalgic thing. And so I wanted, and this set, as cool as it is, and as bad as I've inked it, which I need to re-ink it, but it has never seemed as authentic as these will seem to me. I'm going to throw in I'm going to throw this in my bag, ink the 11s, ink the 10s on this in red, and throw this in my bag and throw in some 6s and call it my set and be happy with it. But anyway, I wanted to leave a review. The people at Threshold Dice Works were very helpful. It took a while. He makes them by hand, like in his house or in his backyard, so they come out in batches. But if you have the opportunity, if you're interested, look him up on Facebook and check it out. Like I said, it's not cheap, but if that's what you want, is an old school feel, this will definitely get you there. Anyway, thanks a lot. Have a good evening. If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe and leave it a like. Anyway, thanks a lot. Good night.